Lu Tong is a talented cellist who is trying to pass the competition and get into the Asian Symphony Orchestra. At first, the girl succeeds perfectly, and the jury was delighted with her playing a musical instrument. But suddenly the girl almost faints because she has been suffering from insomnia for more than a year. Disappointed in the newly lost opportunity, Lu runs away and sees an advertisement, according to which a program is launched in the city, the purpose of which is to cure people of insomnia. Realizing that there is nowhere to retreat to, the girl decides to become its participant. Song Yang-soo is the CEO and creator of a pharmaceutical company. It was he who launched the insomnia treatment program, since he himself suffers because of it. Upon arrival, the man is forced to use makeup to hide the black eyes and dreams of being cured as soon as possible. When he receives the participants' questionnaires, he loses one paper, but he does not pay attention to it, saying that the participant is excluded in advance. At the same time, Lu arrives at the company office and, getting out of the cab, catches the paper. As it turns out, this is her questionnaire, which surprises the girl, who does not understand what happened. Once in the company office, she rushes to a special program, but the guards do not let Lu through, stating that she was excluded from the program without explanation. Upset but not giving up, the girl decides to sneak to the roof of the building, where she finds Jansu standing on the edge of the building. Frightened that he wants to end his life, Lu rushes to the man and tries to grab him by his suit to push him back. This causes the pair to fall, and the girl ends up on top of Yansu, which seems quite romantic. The couple doesn't have time to say a word to each other as both Lu and Yansu fall asleep unexpectedly. In the morning, the girl wakes up happy, because for the first time in a year, she was able to sleep. Yangsu would probably be just as happy as she is, but the man is still sleeping like a groundhog. Deciding not to disturb him, Lu left and met with a friend in a cafe, telling him about what happened. Shizuo is skeptical of the girl's words, believing that such a thing is impossible. Meanwhile, Yansu hurries to a business meeting and gets behind the wheel for the first time in a long time. He smiles sincerely, believing that his drug, which he has been developing for several years, has finally worked. His happiness is short-lived, as the next night he takes several sleeping pills, but they have no effect on him. As a result, Yansu decides to participate in the program, hoping that it will help not only the invited people, but also him. Lu drastically changes her image and sneaks onto the bus to blend in with the crowd without anyone realizing that she is the girl who was eliminated from the program a few days ago. Upon meeting Yansu, Lu realizes that he didn't recognize her, so she calmly sits down next to the man and decides to get to know him better. At some point, the bus stops abruptly, causing the couple to touch again, after which they fall asleep safely, as if at the snap of fingers. Upon arriving at the program site, Jansu again believes the drug has worked, but its effects are strange and not permanent. Lu wakes up a little later and realizes that she is unlikely to get into the hotel legally, as she is not a registered participant. Trying to cheat, the girl goes in search of a man she knows and sees Janza near the pool. Seeing the man climbing into the water with a jar of pills scattered on the ground nearby, she gets scared that Yansu wants to get even again and rushes after him to save him. Lu pulls the man out of the water, after which the couple falls asleep again, touching each other. In the evening, the couple wakes up a bit confused, but the man tries not to make it matter, firmly believing it to be the effects of the medicine. A little later, Yansu and Lu have dinner, and the girl decides to confess that she has severe insomnia, but she falls asleep easily when they are together. The owner of the pharmaceutical company assumes it's a coincidence and leaves without further ado. Shortly afterward, an assistant calls Jansu and informs him that the girl who had dinner with him is not approved to participate in the project and must be immediately expelled. The man decides to take pity on Lu and orders to let her stay. As a result, the girl is not only left but also given the keys to the VIP room as an apology for the security incident. In the evening, it turns out that the room belongs to Jans. Back at his place, he notices the girl occupying the bed and reacts calmly. Remembering her words about falling asleep at their touch, the man decides to test Lu's words. As soon as he touches, the couple does indeed fall asleep. Waking up in the morning, Yansu tries to carefully get out of bed, but the girl opens her eyes and is angry at the man, believing he has broken into her room. Yansu struggles to justify that it's an awkward coincidence, but assistant Lin saves the chief by fixing the unpleasant situation. Back in the city, Yansu finds the girl's documents in the office, confirming the fact that she suffers from insomnia. Calling a meeting of the city's best doctors and scientists, the man asks if it's possible that two people who don't know each other can fall asleep when they touch. As expected, the doctors say that such a thing is impossible and they have never heard of such a phenomenon. Upon returning to the hotel, the man notices the girl near the receptionist's desk and then pursues her for a private conversation. He proposes to cure their insomnia, and the only method to do so is to sleep together. Lu is skeptical of the idea, but hugs Janza, and, to their surprise, they don't fall asleep from it. A little later, the girl tries to find something similar to their case on the internet, but she fails. Analyzing the situation, Lu realizes that they fell asleep when they were going through a stressful situation. She rushes to Jan's to explain it, but the man leaves before Lu finds him. The girl decides to talk to the men who are the assistant and director of the company. She tells Yansu about the secret, but they convince the girl not to tell anyone else about it, because it would jeopardize the man's entire business. To buy Lu's silence, the men promise to help her with employment. It seems that the issue is solved, but hundreds of other girls come to the casting call, inspected by a demanding woman named Mansu. She forces one of the contestants to drink a glass of wine, but the girl is allergic to alcohol. Lu saves her and drinks the glass, after which Mansu orders her to drink the whole bottle, and the girl agrees without hesitation. Afterwards, a drunken Lu struggles to walk home, but Mansu picks her up and carries her to his office so the girl can rest on the couch. The next morning, the man peeks at the girl's cell phone and notices that she is interested in a music contest. He wonders if Lu will take part in it, but the girl is afraid to do so as her illness prevents her from playing the cello. In the evening, the couple have dinner at a restaurant and have a few drinks, after which Jansu registers the girl for the music contest. The next day, Lu wakes up in the bathroom and notices a man lying on the floor nearby. A little later, he is angry because the apartment is in real chaos, and the painting for $800,000 is ruined. Sometime later, Jansu meets with Dr. Lee, an expert in the field of sleep. The woman states that she wants to study the couple to understand why they fall asleep after touching each other. Believing that this will allow the invention of a cure, Yansu agrees and draws up a contract stating that Lu will be his sleep aids for the next year. The girl is ready to work off the debt for the ruined painting and meets with the doctor to find out about the start of the first phase of the treatment. For this, the couple must wear bracelets that perform physiological monitoring and check their data during sleep and wakefulness. On this basis, the couple must sleep together, and Lu, agreeing to this condition, moves into Yansu's house. In the evening, the couple get into bed and hold hands, but this time nothing happens and they are unable to sleep. Soon the couple hears a strange noise in the next room, and it turns out that it is a snake belonging to Yansu, which frightens Lu a lot, because of which the girl ended up in the arms of a man. A couple of days later, Yansu arrives at a gala event where Mangsu tries to show interest in the man. He does not pay attention to her as the charming Lu in a snow-white dress appears in the hall, charming not only Yansu but also all those present. The man introduces the girl to the judge of the symphony orchestra to give Lu a chance to play on the big stage again. Mansu looks at the couple with envy and pours the contents of the glass on the girl's dress, expressing to Yansu everything he thinks about him. After the incident, the couple goes to a beautiful bridge and admires the starry sky. Taking a cello out of the trunk, Jansu asks the girl to play for him. Becoming the only spectator and listener, the man is nervous and realizes that he has fallen in love with Lu and wants to be with her all his life. Gaining courage, he decides to kiss the girl, but before he can do so, the couple falls asleep. A few minutes later, they wake up to a call from a doctor informing them that the couple has secreted hormones that only appear when they are in love. Yansu realizes that he and Lu fall asleep as soon as they find themselves in a romantic atmosphere. Determined to test this theory, the man buys tickets to the movie theater for a romantic movie. A little later, Mansu walks into his boss's office and finds out his plans for the evening, making him even angrier. In the evening, the couple watches a movie and dream of kissing each other. The doctor warns that the bracelet will show a pink color if hormones are released. Seeing this, Yansu realizes that they will fall asleep if they touch each other and decides not to kiss Lu. Realizing that the pink signal is a sign of falling in love, Yansu decides to see if the girl will have this signal, but nothing happens and this upsets the man. Poisoned in a restaurant, the couple meets Shizuo, the owner of the place and one of the shareholders of a pharmaceutical company. He and his wife join the guests for a dinner for the four of them. Yansu is clearly unhappy with what is happening, as the restaurant owner and Lu are chatting sweetly, which makes him jealous. After the restaurant, the man again confesses his love to the girl and tells her about the principle of the bracelet, which emits a pink light signal when he has feelings for her. Lu recalls that her bracelet emitted the same signal in the morning when she thought about him, but the girl accidentally dropped the bracelet in a cup and broke it. Deciding to test herself, Lu puts the bracelet on Yangsu's bracelet and it becomes clear that their crush is mutual. Experiencing a romantic mood, the couple decides to kiss again, but fall asleep moments before. Trying to fight it, the man clearly controls the readings of the bracelet. The next night, noticing that the pink signal is not lit, he takes advantage of the moment and passionately kisses the girl until they both fall asleep. Upon waking up in the morning, Yansu notices the time and realizes that he is late for his meeting with Mr. Zhang. The pair hurriedly go to the man's house, but he does not answer the door, apparently offended by Yansu's lack of punctuality and refusing to cooperate with him. Having gone to the company, the man informs the investors about it, and it upsets some of them. A little later it becomes known that the shareholders will suspend the program and the development of the drug if he fails to sign the contract within 5 days. Realizing that their lives and health are at risk, the couple returns to Mr. Zhang's house and asks for another chance. The man is ready to meet the businessman, but only on the condition that Yansu will take part in a dance competition with a popular French dance and win the competition. Meanwhile, Dr. Lee gets the first tests, realizing that the hormone responsible for falling in love is elevated in the main characters' bodies, but it increases melatonin, the sleep hormone. This is not only a way to find a cure, but also a risk that the couple may fall into a serious condition or not wake up at all due to their excessive love for each other. Jansu starts taking dance lessons, where among the participants are only older women who pay attention to him. A few days later, Lu invites Mr. Zhang to a competition, but it turns out that he has mixed up the type of dance and the venue. Jansu gives his all on stage with the grandmothers, even though it looks ridiculous. Zhang again refuses to cooperate, explaining that it was his mistake, but offers another chance to win the contract. Zhang offers to play out the contract signing opportunity in a game on his phone. Lu plays the game perfectly, so he agrees to the man's terms and enters the game. Soon, Yansu returns to the company with good news, stating that the contract with Mr. Zhang has been successfully signed. In the evening, Yansu gives Lu a letter inviting him to participate in a music competition. As it turns out, during a date when she was playing the cello, a man recorded it on a hidden camera and sent it to the jury, who praised her skills. While Mangsu orders his assistant to keep an eye on Yansu, the man prepares a romantic breakfast for Lu. In the evening, the loving couple go for a walk and find themselves on an empty street decorated with lights. The place is full of bubbles and the atmosphere seems surprisingly romantic, so the couple embrace, unaware that Mangsu's assistant is watching them and taking compromising photos. A little later, the couple meets with Dr. Lee, who is ready to give her first opinion regarding their illness. The woman notes that they fall asleep quickly not only because they are in love, but also because they feel safe, as their insomnia is the result of psychological trauma accompanied by nightmares. In the evening, Lu and her best friend Shizuo go to a concert where they accidentally meet Jansu, who decides to introduce them to Anna, an outstanding cellist and the girl's idol. This meeting makes Lu start practicing hard, so for the next few days she does not let her cello out of her hands. Soon comes the long-awaited Asian Symphony Orchestra competition, which is attended by Chizuo, Yinsu, and Mansu. The conniving woman is once again up to something terrible and uses an assistant to trap the girl by locking the room. When it is Lu's turn and she is announced, the girl does not appear on stage. Realizing that something has happened, Yansu and Chizuo go to look for her and find the girl in one of the rooms on the floor unconscious frightened. Yansu takes Lu to the hospital where she is treated. The next morning, Yansu reviews the video camera footage and realizes that it was Mangsu who ordered her assistant to lock Lu in that room. Upon meeting the woman, he forbids her from approaching him and his girlfriend, or she will be in big trouble. Angry, Mansu fires the subordinate for a job poorly done. A couple days later, Jansu meets with his father and doesn't want to discuss Mangsu. He is basically unfazed by his father, as he was too harsh with him after his mother left this world, which ruined their relationship. While cleaning up, Lu finds a box with a red scarf, but Yansu reacts angrily and takes the box away. A little later, it turns out that it contained items that belonged to his late mother. In the evening, Lu goes to her parents' house for dinner, and they announce that they have found a good husband for her. This man turns out to be Chizuo, who not only works as a chef, but has been friends with the girl's family since childhood. Thirsty for revenge, fired assistant Mansu follows them and takes some photos, then sends them to Linyu. Assistant Yansu tells his boss about everything. After dinner, Chizuo confesses to his friend that he has loved her since childhood, but here Yansu appears, who takes Lu away and demands an explanation. The girl calms the man, because for her Chizuo is a childhood friend and nothing can be between them. Having reconciled, the couple goes to the nearest cafe, but soon they are found by Lu's father. The man gets acquainted and has a drink with Yansu, after which the couple returns home and falls asleep on the couch. Mangsu's assistant takes advantage of the situation and takes a few photos and posts them on social media, sparking nasty rumors. A couple days later, Yansu goes to work, but has to quickly return home after learning that Lu isn't answering her phone. The girl is not at home, but she calls Yansu and calms him down. As it turns out, the girl is surrounded by journalists, but Chizuo rescues her and hides her in his restaurant. After taking Lu, Yansu goes to Dr. Lee to learn about how the study of their disease is going. After the girl falls asleep, the woman asks the couple to stop touching each other. The length of their sleep after touching gradually increases, and this could lead to problems if a drug is not found to prevent this and cure insomnia. Accepting the new reality, Yansu says nothing to Lu and sacrifices himself by working hard to stay away from the girl he loves. A little later, Yansu learns that the dirt was published by Mangsu's former assistant and tries to talk to her, but the woman can't help. After continuing to study the couple in love, Mangsu learns that Yansu and Lu have seen each other before and even finds a childhood photo of them together. In the evening, the girl wants to treat the man to soup, but overhears his conversation with the assistant, realizing that he is hiding something. Disappointed, Lu runs away, and the man goes after her. He has to tell her about the doctor's report and the couple reconciles, agreeing not to touch each other temporarily so as not to aggravate their illness. The next morning, Shen asks the doctor if she can cure only Jansu, but she says that it is not possible at the moment. Yangsu informs his father that he wants to get married and shocks him with such a bold statement. The father decides to look into his son and Lu's contract, and as a result he learns that she is not only his business assistant, but must also sleep with him every night. In the evening, the loving couple meets the girl's parents and waits for Yansu's father, but he does not show up for dinner and does not answer his phone calls, showing his disrespect for his son's choice. Lu's parents take the girl home and Yansu goes to her father to understand the reasons for what is happening. The man is against his son's relationship, as he suspects that Lu is only with him for money. The next morning, the girl's parents receive a package, inside of which is a copy of Lu and Yansu's contract. After reading the document, Lu's father kicks his future son-in-law out of the house. The girl tries to tell her parents about their illness, but they are skeptical and forbid Lu to see Yansu. The next day, Lu's father goes to the office of a pharmaceutical company, where he meets Mansu, who lied about being the CEO's fiancé. Back home, the father takes away his daughter's cell phone so she can't communicate with Yansu. During the night, the couple has the same horrible dream, making it clear that they have experienced a shared trauma that provoked insomnia. In the morning, the man suffers from a headache and wants to take a bunch of pills, but Chizuo prevents him from doing so. After calming down a bit, Yansu tells the girl's best friend about the insomnia and other problems he and Lu are suffering from. The next morning, Chizuo visits Lu and asks her out on a date. The parents allow the girl to go, not realizing that the whole thing is a hoax just so that the loving couple can meet and spend time together. The girl's father finds the couple, so Lu hides Yansu, but that doesn't save the situation. The father demands an explanation and Yansu tells him about insomnia and how he can only fall asleep after touching his daughter. To prove his words, the couple touch each other with their fingers and immediately fall asleep. Mansu investigates and realizes that Yansu's mother was Lu's cello teacher. After waking up in the night, the couple does not see Lu's father and go to the doctor reporting that their condition is worsening. Lee decides to hold a hypnosis session, thanks to which he realizes that the couple is experiencing the same nightmare, but they need to remember in detail the events that provoked insomnia, because only this will help to get rid of the disease. At night, an unknown person breaks into the office and steals the information of a pharmaceutical company stored on Jansu's computer. In the morning, the couple decides to have a romantic date, but their car breaks down on the way. Lu's parents, who have been following the couple, take the opportunity to drive them to an expensive hotel. All the rooms are occupied, so the four of them have to squat in one spare room for two. The mother and Lu stayed in one bedroom, while Yansu and the girl's father occupy the other room. Lu apologizes for not telling them about the insomnia earlier, and the mother supports her, assuring her that she and the father love their daughter very much and just care about keeping her happy. At dawn, the parents leave, and the couple is finally able to spend time alone together. They head to the wishing tree, and Jansu remembers that he used to come here often with his mother. Soon the couple finds themselves near a lake, and the man offers to take a boat ride, but Lu is afraid of the water for some reason. In the evening, there is a fireworks display, after which Jansu kneels down in front of Lu and offers her to become his wife. The girl agrees, but as soon as the man tries to put on the wedding ring, the couple falls asleep. In the morning, hotel security wakes up Yansu and Lu, informing them that they have slept for at least 30 hours. Dr. Lee realizes that the situation is getting worse and asks the couple to stay away from each other. In the evening, Yansu meets with Chen and his father, while Lu spends time with his parents and reveals that a man has proposed marriage to her. Yansu also tells his father about wanting to get married, but this leads to a big scandal, resulting in his father falling to the floor due to a heart attack. Yansu takes his father to the hospital and meets Lu, telling him about the scandal. Realizing that Yansu's father is against the relationship, the girl begins to take care of the man to change his attitude to himself. At first he is strongly against it, but soon becomes convinced that Lu is a good girl and spends more and more time with her, playing board games. Meanwhile, Jansu meets a doctor who has good news. She has found a way for the couple to touch each other without endangering their lives. It's a cold interaction. Yansu's father's attitude towards the girl finally changes, so he apologizes to his son and offers to meet with the bride's parents. In the evening, Yansu invites the girl to a ski resort and an animator in a bear costume takes her to a dark and cold place. All this turns out to be a romantic surprise for the man, now not afraid to touch the girl, as it is snowing and cold outside, slowing down the processes of their falling asleep. The next morning, the couple finally introduces their parents, but they are too tense when they first meet. Upon seeing Jansu's father, the girl's parents decide to cancel the meeting and immediately leave. The father is once again adamantly against the relationship and states that these people are the ones to blame for Yansu's mother taking her life. When they were children, the boy's mother was in the hospital and he, seeing Lu, blamed her for what happened. As it turned out, the girl was swimming on a boat, but it capsized in the middle of the lake. Yansu's mother saved the children, but it cost her life. After hearing all of this, Yansu suffers from a headache and remembers that fateful day. A little later, Yansu decides to talk about it with Chen, who was present at the lake that day. Yansu and Lu become fast friends and decide to go boating one day, which leads to the disaster. Meanwhile, Shizuo supports Lu's father and also wants to find out about the events of the past. The girl's father is sure that it was an accident and his daughter is not guilty of what happened in the distant past. Moreover, after what happened, Yansu and Lu suffered from amnesia, so they were never able to explain what really happened. In the evening, Lu's mother comes home to Yansu and asks her not to look for her daughter, leaving her alone. The woman does not want the girl to remember what happened because she was very hurt by what happened and still has not recovered from a severe psychological trauma. At night, Lu writes a few messages to the man, but Yansu ignores her, believing that it is better this way. A little later, she once again has a nightmare and notices a child, but cannot recognize Yansu in the boy. In the morning, the girl goes to Yangsu's house to talk about the changes in their relationship. The man declares that he does not love her and does not want to waste time on useless communication, so they'd better not see each other. A few hours later, Lu meets the doctor and tells her nightmares. The woman explains that the dreams are the result of a traumatic event that happened in her childhood and caused her partial amnesia and insomnia. Lu realizes that she can only be cured if she remembers everything, so she agrees to a new hypnosis session. She needs to come to the doctor's office with Jansu, but the man ignores the girl, and the receptionist informs her that she can't meet him on his personal orders. One of the local girls helps Lu sneak into the office, but she is met by Mansu, who takes the opportunity to tell the truth about what happened. A couple minutes later, the girl escapes from the office with a stone face, but is met by Mansu on her way out. Taking one look at Lu, he realizes that something bad has happened, but she leaves without saying a word. Upon returning to his parents, Lu shows them an old newspaper that tells them what happened in the distant past. Distressed, the girl goes to the beach, but that's where Yansu appears. He tries to make peace with Lu, but she admits that she is guilty of the terrible events of the past, as a result of which Yansu lost his mother. Having taken off her wedding ring, the girl throws it into the water, and the man tries to save the precious jewelry as a symbol of their love. Appearing on the scene, Mansu tries to talk to Yansu, but he rejects her and feels heavy about not being able to find Lu's engagement ring. At night, the girl's mother finally tells her exactly how everything happened. Yansu tries to return to work, but during the meeting he sees Lu in the image of other people and cannot concentrate on the affairs of the pharmaceutical company. In the evening, Shizuo visits Yansu for a drink and a talk. The comrade tries to understand the reasons for the breakup, and Yansu confesses that he loves the girl, but feels guilty for not preventing the disaster and is afraid that Lu will remember everything. Shizuo is adamant that you can't let go of the person you love and advises him to find a way to be there for the girl. Inspired by the words of Lu's best friend, Yansu rushes to her parents and almost gets into an accident. Losing his balance, he falls off the moped and is injured, ending up in the hospital. When he wakes up, he notices a worried Mangsu and learns that Lu had also tried to visit him. Mansu apologizes for her behavior, confessing that she just loves Jansu and wanted to be with him. At the same time, Lu meets with the doctor and insists on going to rehab alone. Lee can't help, as it takes two to treat and find a cure. Otherwise, the process could take years and won't be 100% safe. Realizing there is no choice, the couple meet outside the doctor's office to continue their treatment together. Before going into hypnosis, the couple must take a walk to the lake and touch a boat standing on the shore. Yansu and Lu suffer some flashbacks, unaware that Chen is watching them from afar. Upon returning home, Chen looks at a photo of a deceased woman. Yansu and Lu burst into his room, blaming him for the disaster, after which the ghost of the deceased woman also appears, but it turns out to be all a nightmare. The next morning, the shareholders of a pharmaceutical company hold an emergency meeting because someone has published secret information about their work online. The main suspect turns out to be Dr. Lee, because she was the only one who had access to Yangsu's office. The man does not believe that this is possible and decides to conduct his own investigation, believing that the woman is being framed by someone. Meanwhile, Lu receives an envelope with 2 voice recorders inside, one with her name and one with Jansu's name on it. The pair meet to listen to the audio recordings and fail to notice a photographer taking several pictures of Yansu and Lu. Upon receiving the photos, Chen is angry that the couple continues to date. At the same time, the couple listens to the audio recordings given to Lee and realizes that there was someone else at the lake who was responsible for everything. After learning this, Yansu meets with his father to figure out where Chen was that day. As it turns out, he was the one who reported the tragedy first, which now seems suspicious. Soon the couple meets with the doctor again and learns that the woman is having problems. Someone tried to mess up the equipment, and for this reason they have to hold a secret meeting so that no one can find out about it. As a result of another hypnosis session, Yansu and Lu remembered that they were playing threesomes with Chen. He was the one who suggested a boat ride and then started rocking it to scare the children. At one point, the boat capsized, but Chen swam to shore and alerted Yansu's mother. The woman rushed into the water to save her son, but paid for it with her life. The next morning, the couple meets with a man who was at the scene of the incident. He tells them how it really happened, not realizing that Chen is eavesdropping on their conversation. Becoming extremely nervous, the man goes to the bathroom to wash his face, then returns to the door to continue eavesdropping on the conversation. Yansu declares that he hates the uncle who caused the disaster. Chen is disappointed and leaves, and Yansu adds to Lu that despite all this he loves his uncle because he always treated him well and was like an older brother. In the evening, Chen returns home and feels disappointed because of his nephew's words. Afraid of retaliation from Yangsu, he calls his assistant and asks him to spread information that could harm his business. The next morning, hundreds of journalists show up on the doorstep of the pharmaceutical company, having learned that Yansu suffers from insomnia. Chen decides to talk to the press and confirms that his nephew is indeed sick. This not only creates rumors and distrust of Yansu as CEO, but also lowers the company's stock price. A little later, his father calls Yance and tells him that he knew the truth about the incident from the beginning. He realized that Lu was not responsible for what happened, but he didn't want Chen to suffer and be punished, so their family blamed everything on the girl, who did nothing wrong. Soon, Chen gathers a meeting of shareholders to discuss the affairs of their company. The business is in dire straits and the investors believe the CEO is to blame for everything, so some suggest voting to remove Jansu from his position. Fortunately, major investors disagree with this view. In addition, Yansu reports a promising new project that could make everyone rich. Chen tries to insist on firing his nephew, but the shareholders support Yansu, so the uncle has to quit and leave the office after packing his things. Before Chen leaves, Yansu tries to talk to him to finally sort things out. After diving into the past, Yansu recognizes that his uncle was also a child and not responsible for the tragedy. He reaches out to Chen and offers to forget the past by remaining a family. The uncle tearfully embraces his nephew and repents for what happened. A little later, Chen meets his brother and kneels before him to ask for forgiveness. Jansu and Lu visit his mother's grave and thank her for saving them. In turn, Yansu makes a promise to keep Lu's family safe. Realizing that all the quarrels and problems are in the past, Yansu confesses his love to the girl again, but she runs away without replying. A couple of days later, the couple meets in a fancy restaurant, but again they do not find a common language, because everyone does not want to say what they really think. Upon meeting Yansu and Lu, the doctor informs them that they are recovering, but there is still a long way to go before their sleep improves completely. In the evening, Yansu prepares a romantic dinner, but the girl ignores the date as she is having dinner with her parents. Yansu comes to Lu's house to talk and sort out their feelings. The girl doesn't want to sleep next to a man and is still angry, so she orders her to sleep in the living room. In the morning, the manager of an Asian symphony orchestra calls her and offers to be part of their band. Janice is ready to drive the girl to work, but there are traffic jams on the roads, so they decide to use a moped. At night, Janice stays in the living room again, but soon Lu visits him. The next morning, the couple finally reconcile, admitting that their love is still mutual. After kissing, they meet Lu's parents to break the happy news. No one is in the house except for a camera with the girl's childhood videos. Heading to the swing set, the couple finds Lu's father and reassures him that she will be happy. A few days later, Yesun and Lu prepare for the wedding, picking out a dress and suit. Their fathers become friends, so the next morning, the long-awaited wedding finally takes place. Friends, relatives, and coworkers happily watch and applaud when Yesun and Lu are pronounced husband and wife. Afterwards, the doctor congratulates the couple, informing them that they had almost recovered. Chen also congratulates the newlyweds and gives them a drawing of the happy family.